Uranium Friends, Energy Fuels UUUU, the dog that it is, but is it really? Is it just doing what it's been doing for a long time, right? So I did make a video on this with these value areas. I'm not going to go over extensive explanation on them other than the fact that these value areas are representing the spots where UUUU has had interaction for the life of the stock, right? Multiple rejections, multiple rejections. Okay, so we're kind of there now, right? So, you know, we'll talk about the moving average. It's not as clear and as easy to use as a metric for the 4Us. So that's why I do kind of view the value areas of having more importance to me. So, technical analysis, it requires you to understand the behavior of an individual stock to know how to maybe be able to play it. So, you know, these value areas offer more quote unquote value to me than the moving averages. And, as we zoom in, you will see, right? So, I mean, just disregard these lines for a moment because when we get to the shorter time frames, they're going to have meaning. This vertical line here. So, yeah, all you does is just kind of always chop around these moving averages. So I don't view them as a great metric, unlike a lot of other names in the space. But what I do see with Energy Fuels right now, which gives us a little bit of a glimmer of hope here, is this monthly 50 EMA. It seems to react around there. Um, as support, and it's been doing that really since, well, forever, right? Once it took it out, took it out. So December of 2020, it's been a good long-term metric, and since then it's just been, well, not very clear. So again, this is why I like these value areas, but I can glean something from that moving average on the monthly. So monthly consolidation has been going for, months, right? So this is really a dog in the space. It's not reacting the way the rest of the space is reacting. So, maybe it's got to be played different. Maybe it's the rare earths. Maybe it's the fact that there's something going on with this company that we just don't know yet about, right? So, but if you really just took a look at this monthly, it's still, it's a monthly bull pennant, you know. So it's just that simple. There's no real pivot yet here. Well, I guess this is your pivot, but it's just a sideways range dancing in these value areas. I mean, that's kind of the way I'm viewing it. So the way I view energy fuels is that when it kind of gets down into this $5 area, it usually has me as a buyer, and that's been a good play for a long time. And the thing is that I know I'm wrong if it starts to lose this area, because then we're just looking really far down. So that's the way I'm viewing the 4Us on the monthly. I'm just playing these value areas. This is not my favorite trader. I don't think a lot of people like this name in general, just by listening to what I hear from the screamers on Twitter. Yeah, so the guys, of course, whoever bought down here is happy as a clam. All right, so monthly, just the value areas is really going to be the theme for this name for me. You're starting to see why these lines are here. You're going to get a much better view as we go in, zoom in on our time frames. But yeah, it lost this key, the top of the value area. It lost it, and when it loses it, it loses it. So, to me, like I know that I'm coming into this value area. Um, I just want to see how it reacts here. I'm not really messing with this. If it comes down here into this $5 area, hence why I have this alert set. If it comes down here, then I'm going to take a look, maybe start to think about adding for a swing. All right, so the daily waterfall, all one move, no pivots yet, coming into oversold conditions, daily falling wedge. This is not, I drew this wedge, believe it or not, on the hourly because that's really what I'm focused on at the moment. Um, Bears in full control, right? And even if you get a bounce to this 12 EMA on the daily, the Bears are in full control. Full control. So, this is falling knife stuff. You start trying to buy this falling knife. I want to go to the hourly here because I want to just make note of something. So, uh, you know, Technical analysis 101, falling wedges are great plays, right? So a falling wedge is a bullish pattern, believe it or not. So this is, is it bullish here? No, 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 no. But it's starting to get bullish, right? This is a pretty good resistance. We've got our solid candle touches in multiple spots, right? So you could say that this is a good downtrending resistance line. This wedge support, yeah, I mean it's got multiple candles. So this wedge support on some solid candles is pretty good as well, right? Somebody could try to say, all right, if I want to be a little bit more proactive about that wedge, you could say that that's good too. Look, you start to get when you make these draw these lines and you start to see. So you've got it here too. So there's can be some breaches here, but what's been going on is that it's been bouncing off of it. You've got a little bit of an RSI divergence here, right? So, but the bears are in full control. How do we know? Hourly 12 EMA, it cannot get past it, right? So even if it gets past it, it has to get through the wedge resistance. So bears are in full control. We have a little bit of a sign that there might be weakening, right? Well, that is what the nature of a falling wedge is, right? They start to show exhaustion on the seller side or the buyer side as far as if they're rising wedges. So that is the key to the falling wedge. Are we starting to see some exhaustion? Well, maybe, right? So you're getting some wicky undercuts. There's starting to be some buying here. You're getting an RSI divergence. If I don't have enough clarity or I'm just not sure, I move up to the 4-hour. What is the 4-hour doing? 4 hours doing the same thing. Bears are in full control. 4-hour falling wedge. Let's just see something here. Yeah, so that there's is starting to show some signs of seller exhaustion. Nothing going on RSI wise here, right? So it's still the RSI is good. Your divergence is in the hourly. So really, all this is an early look. What do you want to see to know that the bounce can be underway? Well, you need to see an hourly trend change, right? So here you go. You got some good buying. You got a great move and then it lost it. There's no trend change, right? So what do you want when you get a trend change? What are we looking for? We're looking for this move, right? Wherever this bottoms out, get that move, right? Next move down, holds the low, continues on. Hourly trend change, right? Um, not based off of these levels, bases off of its bounce level, right? So what you need to do to get this hourly trend change underway, which moves on to the 4-hour, which moves on to the daily, moves on to the weekly, so and so, bounce, tops out, drawback, less than holds the level of the original bounce, and then continues on. There you have an hourly trend change. Super aggressive players are going to be working off of this low if they take this bounce. Again, I talked about this in CCJ, and I will do the same thing here in UUUU. When I get this hourly bounce, I will trim half as quickly as possible to get myself risk-free off of this low. And if the next low comes back down and holds that low, it then needs to confirm by taking out that high. That's the stuff that I'm looking at. That's the short-term stuff. But you need to start seeing the name do something like this in order for it to get continuation and move on to a 4-hour trend change. So that's what I'm looking at with UUUU. It's a pretty good looking setup with this hourly falling wedge, but in order to be free of any, hey, there's plenty of people who might have chased this move. And if they didn't put their stop in, they were wrong and they started losing money. So this is a standard falling wedge play, trying to play the hourly trend change to get the hourly move underway. Buy the falling wedge, trim half, so you can get your stop below the most recent low, because now this is putting in some levels here, right? And we're getting a little bit of volume support. And even if we come really close, let's just get the data that's close here, so we can see what this volume support's doing here. Right, so there's chop here, but we're building. It's building a level here. Okay, You could say it was building a level here too, and it lost it, right? So, but there is starting to see some signs of that there are buyers stepping in here, right? You're starting to see some volume ramp up. We had it here too, right? So this is starting to look like, maybe there's some accumulation happening. Apparently, I don't know, earnings. You fundamental guys will have a better look at it, but that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at an hourly falling wedge to be my play. So, Monday or Tuesday, I might be looking to take a look. And if I miss this move, right? So let's just say I'm being conservative and I miss the move. Maybe it does get this little bounce, right? Then I'm looking to see what it does, especially on the hourly 12 EMA. Maybe it gets a nice bounce where it leaves enough room to make a higher low. That's where I'm going to be working. Then I'm going to try to grab this higher low against this low and see if I can get a piece of this run. That's how temporary bottoms are caught. So, I mean, that's the play that I'm going to be making. I have no plans on doing anything yet. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm going to market buy when on the open on Monday. I'm not doing that. I'm just watching, definitely just watching. I don't need to be aggressive because the truth is, I'd rather see more depth into this value area. I'd rather see it come down and test these levels because then it's starting to become a lot more of a low risk. But I cannot deny that there's a falling wedge setting up here, and falling wedges are pretty good bullish bounce plays. So, and it is starting to establish a level, but it did here too. So that's the way I'm looking at you, right? So these value areas, they have validity. They still do. It's not really a moving average metric rider for me. Next couple of days, see what the hourly does. That would be the actual, to me, the most important chart on energy fuels is the hourly and the 4 hour. Over and out.